And during that week, I just kept thinking and thinking and thinking. I was angry. I was aggravated. I was angry. I was furious about what had happened to me. With my urologist, I mean, he's a really nice guy, but I just realized how manipulating that he can be, and I looked up some stuff, about anesthesia and the procedures, and the bottom line is the only reason why you're put under general anesthesia for a shockwave is for the doctor's convenience, because you do tend to move around. But I remember I was under a twilight sleep, and I did try to move, but the nurse just kind of like smacked my hand away because I tried to push the machine away at some point. But, the nurse would just, scold me, and I would stop, I was like in the twilight. And I know it doesn't have to be that way. And I said, if he told me I was too big, and I've been eating like crazy during this holiday season, been eating like crazy, all the pumpkin delights, all the eggnog delights, all the delights, deliciousness of the season. I'm on vacation. So I know I put on a couple of pounds. And if he says it's my weight that prevents Shockwave from working, why should I put myself through all of that? Through intubation and general anesthesia. And why should I do that to myself for 1 stone? It just didn't make sense. And I called the nurse and I asked her that, his assistant actually, and I said, look, I want to do twilight. I don't want to do this general anesthesia. It's not for 1 stone, and not for something that may or may not work. And she like, Mrs. Darling, this is how it's going to be, or he's not going to do that surgery. And so I'm thinking, I already have no trust for this man. And I was like, how will I know? I told her he's not going to put the stint in me again, right? Because in my mind, I mean, he could do it again. I won't know because I'm under anesthesia, just to make sure I come back again. I don't trust him anymore. That trust isn't there anymore. That was very manipulating. Even the fact that he told me all the bad things that could happen in his partner's practice was manipulating, because he wants his partner to leave that practice and practice where he practices. And so they have their offices different, but they also combine into one clinic also. And so he wants his partner to leave his office and go. And so I just realized that is just really, really manipulating. And I just lost all my, over vacation, I'm just thinking about it and thinking I just lost all my trust. I had no peace about it. I'm like, feel like in the past couple of months, I mean, with everything that happened over the summer and then the shock about my kidneys, I have been living under a constant state of anxiety. Part of it was, my mom coming and driving up to Dallas. I really wanted to do that, and I realized I must have been out of my mind to even think that I could do that on a school night. Driving 2 hours to bring my son to school, then driving another 4 hours up there where I really don't know where I'm going. I must have been crazy to even think that. I mean, ideally it would have been good to leave Saturday morning and then stay all day Saturday and then drive back Sunday morning. But because of, she wasn't here, just to see me. She was here to see my nieces, and, that was the only time my brother would have my nieces. So I knew that wouldn't work, and I was trying to make it work. And I just, when I finally decided I can't do this, and, mostly because I was feeling like crap, because, from the stents, it was like a huge relief. And when the nurse spoke to me like that, or she's a medical assistant, like kind of like, I don't know what the right word, arrogant or snide or talking down to me or scolding me or whatever you want to call it, I just decided, I already gave this man power over my body for a month and a half. And I decided, no, my doctor called me and told me that after looking at my report that she'd like me to see her urologist, and I was like, well, there you go. There's my answer. And so I decided I'm not going through with it. I'm not going through the shockwave. I'm not putting myself under for 1 stone. that may or may not work. I'm not putting my life into the hands of a man that I don't trust anymore. And so I made an appointment with the other doctor, and I was just there this morning, and that's why I was at the doctor's, urologist today, the new one, and he could not make heads or tails of the notes, but from looking at my CAT scans, he said, definitely the shock wave would not have worked on you because you are big, and it's a 50% chance that it's going to work because of your size. And so I understand that you don't want to be put under for that. He was like saying, the reason we do it is so you don't move, blah, 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 whatever. But he's like, because he already removed one of those stones, I'm going to need to get a new CAT scan, which I completely 100% agree. And so he agreed with me. The funny thing is he said that other doctor is a good friend of his. And he's like, I don't know why he did those things, but I understand why, I agree that you did not need to have it in for a whole month and a half. And I agree with you. If it was me, I wouldn't want the shockwave when it might not even work. I wouldn't want to put myself through that. Because I'm putting my body through this trauma for a 50-50 chance that it's going to work. And for me, it was worth it if it meant I would only get one kidney cut into, but he cannot make heads or tails of all of this, and he says, I want to start from the beginning. He said, we got to take a new CAT scan. And I agree, because that CAT scan was taken in, I think, late August, early September. We're now in mid-November, and we don't know where, in order to do the surgery, you need to know where the stones are. And he needs to know what exactly occurred during the laser treatment that the doctor gave me, because I forget what they're called. What is lithotripsy? One is this, what's that? I get mixed up with them. But he needs to see exactly what happened since then, and I 100% agree. So, I was just annoyed that his receptionist would talk to me like that, like, well, he's not going to do it then, like, it's my body. And so I really felt like I was giving people or someone control that I did not trust. I was afraid that I would wake up with those things to me again, and I was just really furious about that. So the new doctor, is gonna look at it, because he's wondering if maybe it's worth it to try the laser again, or to decide, let's get this surgery done. And, we did discuss getting it done before the end of the year. He says he'll work through Christmas. And I was like, I don't care. I'm fine. Then, I'll do it. I don't care that it's Christmas either, just so I could get this done before next year. Before all these deductibles go, because it's $10,000 out-of-pocket deductibles and all of that. I don't want to do that again. So if we can get it done, I don't care if I would prefer the day after Christmas, but as long as I'm home at Christmas, I think I'll be okay. So, I feel better now that I'm getting a second opinion and I'm going to another doctor, because I don't appreciate being manipulated like that. I went to, though his assistants didn't seem any better. One of the problems that keep occurring is that people are not checking my records, and all of the women, receptionists, medical assistants, whatever they are at the front desk, continue to tell me I have to pay co-pays, and I'm going to the doctor every day. So you're talking $30, $40 co-pays. You're talking over $100 a week, and it could be anywhere between $120 to $200 a week if I was to pay all those co-pays. And it was like, check the records, And sometimes I'm waiting for half an hour. Oh, well, you can't be seen until this is correct. I said, well, then please take care of this. And I remember this happened to one of the doctors. I was there for half an hour waiting. And I said, look, can you do me a favor and put it in my notes so I don't have to keep waiting for half an hour? And, they get a little bit like, like that to me. And thank goodness the process seems to be faster, because twice that happened to me again, twice this week. And the lady was able to get her answer within 5 minutes. She called and she said, "Oh no, oh okay, she's not paying. Okay." And the thing is that I go to these offices. I've been to these offices before, and it's the same time every time. Put it in my notes. And so today I went through the same thing, but what made it worse? So I'm upset about my old doctor's medical assistant, but that'll be a $40 copay, and I'm like, well, first of all, when I walked into the office, the receptionist, I had to go all the way to the hospital and get some papers that I had to fill out, and on those papers, it already had my information and it said 0 copay. When I arrived, I showed the receptionist. I said, "Can you please make sure that this is in my record, so I don't have to keep waiting, that I get a 0 copay?" She says, "Yes, it's right here in your records." But when I went out to the doctor, the medical assistant's like, "Okay, it's a $40 copay." And I'm like, "No, I don't pay copay." Yes, you do." That's where it's like, hello, that's unnecessary. Again, now attitudes are coming into play. And so, I've met all of my out-of-pocket, all my deductible. So she goes to the other MA, and the other MA is like, yeah, you do. And I'm like, no, I don't. I've been going to the doctor every single day. For the past 3 months, I have 0 copay. Well, the hospital hasn't gotten that to us yet. I said, I was just at the hospital. They're the ones who gave me the paper. The receptionist, the receptionist doesn't know anything, and I'm like, my daughter's like, what the heck? So I'm like, can you please just call whoever you have to call? I already checked, and you have a copay. I said, call whoever you have to call to check my records, my information, my insurance. I have no copay. And we were going back and forth like that for I don't know how many minutes before she finally checks. I said, call whoever you have to call. She didn't even call anybody. All she had to do was, it took less than a minute. She looked it up on the internet. She looked it up online. Yeah, okay, you have no copay. Why is that? Why? And then, then of course, now they're mad because they were wrong. I think the good news is, since this doctor has 2 offices, I'm not going to that office again. As far as I know, the next time it's going to be at the other office. So, he has an office near the hospital, and so I got 1 clinic by me and 1 clinic by my son's school, which is the hospital, which is where I was back in March. And so I'm going to go there next time. So hopefully I don't have to deal with them again. Because we were like all smiles, and then, the mean pushes because they were wrong, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Because I know that one of the other receptionists I had to deal with that I went to the office twice. The first time she was like, okay, I'm not going to worry about it. And then the second time she had to make a phone call. Anyway, and every time I'm like frustrated because I'm like, what if somebody gets something wrong and I'm going to be arguing with these people? Like I said, that would cost me between $120 to $200 every single week because all the doctors I've been to. Good news is I did finally see the gynecologist. That was extremely painful with the stints in me, the exam, but they did all the sonograms and the intravaginal sonogram, and they found that everything's fine. And so that's awesome, thank God. So as far as I know, every single test that I've had, I have no cancer, so thank God for that. But even though they removed the stents and my ovaries, I have this pain that's getting worse and worse. That's right around my right pelvis area, very close to my hip, vagina area. So it's like, and the reason TMI is what I'm saying is all the way down in the lower abdomen. And my doctor, and I went to her for the results of my diabetes, and she said, oh, we didn't test for that. We just want to make sure that your other things are okay, your anemia, blah, 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 blah. So she said, that sounds like a hernia. And I looked at my scans, and it said hernia in the abdomen, but I don't understand what part of the abdomen they're talking about. So I have to see a surgeon now. But I went back to the one I like, who took care of me for my gallbladder. So I still have 2 more appointments because I'm going back to the liver doctor. Actually, I have 4 appointments. My ear has been throbbing, the back of my ear. When the doctor looked at my ear, she said my eardrum seems fine, but there's a bone in the back of our ear that sometimes does get affected, and the pain is growing upward into up to here now. And she's like, that's not good. You don't want that in your brain. So I have to see an ENT. Ever since I had my procedures, my allergy pills aren't working. So the ENT, I think, also works with allergy. I'm going to go back to the diabetes because, like I said, the last time it was 177 and went down to 151. And that is, you need to take pills when it's up that high. So I'm going to see the diabetic, diabetes in December, ENT next week, liver doctor next week to discuss, is there a pill I can take that's not going to affect my liver. But so far all the tests I've done, no cancer, thank God. So it's the liver, ENT, diabetes, and I have to get that CAT scan next week, and then the following week I have to talk to him about what's going to happen next as far as my kidneys are concerned. I think that's it. ENT, diabetes, and then but I going through all of this with all this, I think that all the medical money that we've put into this health, my husband put into his health care, is definitely paying off right now. So I don't know what's gonna happen next year. I don't like Obamacare for because they don't cover anesthesia and they don't cover you have a $10,000 out of pocket, and I still have to pay for the meds, and the healthcare the way it is now is still screwed up. So I don't know what's gonna happen next year. Even though sometimes you expect the worst, you hope for the best, and so hopefully I heard that there's like a lot of medications that the FDA won't approve because the big corporations want their hundreds and thousands of dollars for their pills, and it's all corruption, bureaucracy, and all that bull crap, big corporation greed. So let's see what happens next year. So hopefully we'll get all of this done now, and hopefully, I don't know what the surgeon's going to say. So that's the 4th doctor. A surgeon's going to say about because I have my pannus is so dang huge, it's really hard to lift it to examine me. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that the pain's getting worse and it's starting to spread to the other side. So I don't know if it's just a muscle thing because my pannus is pulling. I know that my insurance company, after they said that the plastic surgeon was in network, now they're saying they're still not going to pay the bill. It's like, what the heck, I'm not trying to get a tummy tuck. My pannus hangs down to my knee. It's just horrible, painful thing. So I don't know what's gonna. It just seems to be getting worse, and I'm wondering if maybe that's where the pain's come from because it's pulling at the muscle, and so I don't know if that's what it is. So if it's a hernia, I'm gonna need another surgery. Anyway, but for now, I'm good. I'm getting the second opinion. I feel so much more at peace and at ease knowing that I'm doing that. My only anxiety now is we're already mid-November and everything. Whatever needs to get done, I need to get done now before the end of December, before I'm paying co-pays, $40 co-pays, and having this $10,000 out-of-pocket deductible stuff, so. So anyway, so that's what's going on with me. So I believe I'll see you next Friday. The following Friday is Thanksgiving weekend, and most likely we'll be going to one of the museums. And then I was gonna do the surgery with that other doctor, but one of my huge anxieties was going back out to that medical center again with the traffic and the parking situation, and how will my husband even get me, from the hospital if you have to park in a parking garage? I can't walk that after a surgery, blah, blah, blah. That, to me, is a huge relief, too, because the surgery can be done here near me, free parking, drive right up to the exit, and they wheel me down type of thing. So let's see what happens. Just keep me in your prayers. Keep our nation in your prayers. I will see you next week. Love you all. Mwah.